Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And welcome to everyone who's joining us on the internet. I would like to start with some comments. The last time we gathered, we ended with a discussion about, let us say, the rate of speed with which I was moving. And the fact that there wasn't enough time for everything to settle in, to be dealt with. And so I indicated that today we would take time for you to address portions of the book that we moved over quickly, that there is lack of clarity about for you, and that you wish to have clarity about. I want to say something. We call this an ACIM Study Group, and we have been for over a year discussing and moving through the course. But you know what? I'm not really here trying to illuminate the words in a book. This isn't about, quote, a course of study, unquote. At the bottom line, the course is all about you. It's not about the course. My function here is not to illuminate the course, but to illuminate you, who you divinely are, to yourself. Or shall I say yourself with a capital S, to you. You are the focal point because you are the ones having the dream, the nightmare. The book isn't having a dream. And the purpose of the book is to cause you to experience yourself more clearly. The purpose of the book is to give you language and concepts that will undo the sense of yourself which you carry with you and reinforce and embody and actify, if I may put it that way, and undo it. The book is not the focal point. Your real self is. And your, what you would call as an ego, your potential is the focal point. Divine potential, not ego potential. So far, as we have read, I have been bringing the attention back to you, using it to help you see how you utilize your mind. And the starting point that you are using last week, the last meeting, I pointed out that there are two different operating systems. One of them is real in you, and one is the one you have made up. Everything that we have read up to this point has helped to provide language and concepts that will allow you to grasp this. But you know what? We're at a point of transition here, you might say, out of the theoretical into the practical. where it stops being something you're studying about. Ideas that you're able to put together, classify, categorize, put into your memory banks, and then draw from, like legal boilerplate, phrases, statements that can be pulled out of a memory bank and put together in fresh new ways, intriguing ways, surprising ways. It's not about gathering anything from memory banks, and it's not about putting anything into memory banks. It's not about finding something new to incorporate into your mutually agreed upon definitions, refining them and perfecting them and making them be more spiritual while still functioning from an operating system which is purely imaginary and has nothing to do with reality. Your boilerplate, your definitions, and the way you have put everything together to give you a sense of what everything is about so you may feel secure. Is what you are about to be willing to abandon, if indeed you want to wake up, if indeed you want to regain your sanity. In abandoning this, it feels like abandoning your security. But you know what? Your security has always been derived from your ability to give quick responses, because you can access your memory quickly and efficiently. So that you have a rebuttal, you have an idea that overrides the idea that has been expressed. That's not really security, it's just a good defense system. When you move into the other operating system, you move into a place where your immediate response to anything is, I don't know what the answer is. And where you abandon the attempt to have the quick answer, the quick rebuttal that supersedes whatever came before it. Switching to the other operating system is a matter of moving into the, I'm going to say, forever unknown. And letting yourself be there in your peace. With the inevitable curiosity that will accompany it. You may not know what the answer is, but you know there's a question. You know there's a need. And in the silence of not attempting to provide the quick rebuttal, the quick answer, you find insight, revelation occurring. You find yourself knowing in that moment what to do, what to say, how to phrase it, how to intone it. And you know what? Your behavior will always be a blessing. But you know something else? What you have found yourself expressing that constituted a blessing doesn't become a bit of information to store in your memory banks, because that is not the way the new operating system works. It doesn't have any memory banks. The new operating system, where you have gone to the place of excellence in you, and you have said, "Thy will be done, not mine," means that you forever stand at unknowing attention with curiosity, openness, so that your appropriateness in every given moment is fresh and original and expresses the living will of God in the now. As you make the conscious and conscientious effort to shift to the other operating system, what I'm going to call the new operating system, the Holy Spirit, as you make conscious and conscientious effort to do that more and more consistently, and find yourself being able to be utterly appropriate in the moment, always with a blessing accompanying it, you will begin to find security in never knowing anything beforehand. A new experience of security will occur, and it will reinforce itself without your having to try to reinforce it. It will reinforce itself not because you are consistently not because you are consistently expressing a clear will, but because you are consistently being willful less. None of you realizes the degree to which the tone of your voice and your choice of words is governing your ignorance, is governing and securing your ignorance, your dream. So, you have been my focus all along, not the Course. The Course is being used as a means of providing language that will allow you to somewhat gracefully shift from the current operating system to the real operating system in you. That's what it's all about. Now, who has questions about what we've been discussing in the Course that you would like clarification on? And if you will give us the page numbers.
This would be on
Here.
This would be on page 93
of the Sparkly book.
That's correct.
Okay, this is for those who are in the first or second edition. This would be on the second page of chapter 5.
Okay, here it talks about giving, the whole idea of giving is losing, and how.
Which paragraph are you looking at?
Okay, it's healing is joining. It's in that entire paragraph. For instance, in the last sentence it says, if you can accept the concept that the world is one of ideas, the whole belief is in the false association which the ego makes between giving and losing is gone. You see that last sentence there?
Indeed.
Okay. The whole concept of this paragraph is about the whole idea of scarcity, I think, versus abundance. In other words, it makes presents the concept that if you if you give someone a thing, okay, it looks like you lose the thing and the other person gains it. But if you give a person an idea, it does not diminish your holding the idea, but actually increases, makes it bigger. The other person has the idea and you have the idea, and the more people that believe in the idea, the stronger the idea becomes.
Indeed.
Okay. Here is what and now I want to take this concept and put it into my everyday life. So here's the question. Let's talk about, and of course, scarcity in the lives of myself and others is often about money. The whole question of money. So my question immediately came up for me was, if you believe in this particular concept, if you believe in the idea of this particular concept, then would it be possible for you to experience a lack in your life as far as materiality is concerned?
If you believe in this particular concept, meaning? The
concept of giving is and sharing is increasing, as opposed to giving is losing. You follow me?
Yes.
Okay. So the thing that immediately came up for me was that if I'm totally 100% in belief of this idea, would I experience scarcity, lack, need in my life? In other words, is what, for instance, if I do experience scarcity, lack, and lack of whatever it is I feel that I need to continue, is it because I'm not fully invested in this whole idea that this paragraph puts across? Does that make sense? What I'm getting at here?
I'm going to ask you to say it again more succinctly.
Okay. You want me to repeat the idea again? Okay. Let me see if I can find the exact sentence that Okay. If you think about it, you will see that while this kind of thinking is totally alien to having things, that is the idea of when you give, you lose, even to the lower mind, it is quite comprehensible in connection with ideas. If you share a physical possession, you do divide its ownership. If you share an idea, however, you do not lessen it. All of it is still yours, although all of it has been given away. Further, if the person to whom you give it accepts it as his, he reinforces your mind and thus increases it. So in the world of ideas, it's quite obvious. In the world of things, it's hard to see. So my question is, if I fully invest, if I'm 100% vested in this idea of giving is increasing, then could scarcity, lack of anything be experienced in my particular experience?
you would indeed find your needs being met. I'm going to ask you to become even more specific. What kind of things are you talking about giving?
Well, money is a perfect example. In my own life, I operate at a deficit. And so instead of saying, well, the folks out there in Yoga Land in this particular neighborhood aren't just getting it, they don't see the value of what I'm doing, I'm a bad teacher, all of the ego bullshit that will come up that will condemn me or my brother for as why this is in a deficit situation. So I'm in the process of trying to relook at the situation, change my perspective, and this particular paragraph, is that what I have to do? Do I have to change my mind in order to change what is in my experience?
You do indeed.
How would I do that?
You have to arrive at a point where you have to decide whether there is anything that can justify your withholding your gift. As long as there is anything that can justify your withholding your gift is not complete. There can be no joy in the sharing of it. And that will be reflected back to you as insufficiency of some sort, providing you the opportunity to solidify and unify your commitment to your function to be that which extends what is valuable, what meets the need, whatever it is the Father's will that you be the expression of.
In my experience, what I'm experiencing right now is I do all that I can. It's taken priority in my life to extend the gift for people who say they can't pay, to say you can have it for free. You don't have to pay. It's my pleasure to give it to you. I see it as the more important than the fee for the class is watching people progress in the practice. That seems to give me the most joy. Because I recognize that at the level that I'm at right now, I'm never going to be able to, or at least I can't foresee getting enough from this financially to make me wealthy or in any way well off. So there's that. Then I don't see myself withholding anything from the people who I teach at this point, and I thought I was beyond the idea of making it about money. So what I'm saying is there's still confusion. What is it that I'm specifically not doing or feeling or seeing that continues to deny me to be able to move comfortably monetarily in the situation, or feel that in other words, what am I doing that's not working? If it's not them, it's got to be me. And I always look at me as being the problem. So where is the problem?
Sometimes the problem is with them. And sometimes you are there to be the one to provide the illumination, the clarification of the fact that sharing is a two-way street. Sharing is a mutual thing. And so you're going to have to listen in the moment as to how to be with a particular individual or a particular group, as to what you are going to say and how you are going to illuminate what is still covered in their mind about the mutuality of gift. Because, mind you, they are coming still from the place you are emerging from, perhaps even more solidly than you. And so it doesn't make sense to them. And so education, illumination, needs to happen. And you're going to have to listen on the spot as to what it is that will need to be said.
There's also some guilt that I have in this situation because, like Paul and Susan, there's no fee for, they give, and it's up to you, us, to determine what that gift is worth or how much we're moved to give, or so it's all on a volunteer basis. But yet I, in my particular practice, say, well, if you come to this class, it's this amount of money. If you come, you pay 12 classes. There is a fee. It makes it easy for everyone. It's $10 or $9 or whatever, $12.
It makes it easy for everyone because it doesn't challenge the current operating system, and it doesn't promote a shift to the other operating system.
Right, exactly. So my guilt comes up with I'm not doing that. So my question is that my next step is to make it a donation basis in my particular practice? I mean, is that my fear, my withholding, my...
It is, and understand that a certain amount of education is going to have to accompany the shift.
You mean of me or them?
Of them, of those who you are teaching.
I see.
Yes.
So is it time to do that, or is it like I have to get more comfortable with the concept?
Well, let's put it this way. The ego is never going to get more comfortable with the concept. And there is no time like the present to break the habit, to break the pattern, to make an excursion into the new operating system, the new premise.
The last thing that comes up for me around this whole idea of abundance is the whole idea of conservation. Conservation on the individual level as far as recycling is concerned. In other words, saving your waste paper and taking it to this recycling center. Driving an automobile that doesn't burn a lot of gas, and limiting your trips to only those that are necessary, and on and on and on and on. How does that fit into the whole idea of abundance and not buy into the whole idea of limited resources and scarcity and pollution and etc.?
To be intelligent doesn't constitute a practice of limitation or scarcity. To organize your waste so that it can be processed efficiently and recycled, not out of lack, but out of honoring the abundance that you have, the abundance that you have that you're throwing away. This does not constitute scarcity. To limit your trips to conserve on fuel does not make sense.